I'm Stumpy Nubs and this is Mustache Mike. Together we're building two very different workshops. One will be full of the best commercial machines we can get our hands on. The other will be full of homemade woodworking machines and tools. I hope you learned something from our workshop blog. When we left off, we were installing wall coverings in the second workshop. That's OSB. Now we have air conditioning in this workshop, but we like a little cross breeze once in a while, so we installed a second window on the other side. When he's not rocking out to his tunes, Mustache Mike likes to paint. I'm not a big fan of painting OSB. I think it looks like you're trying to hide OSB. But most of these walls are going to be covered with cabinets, so you're not going to see much of it. And hey, the stash just loves to paint. This also gives us an opportunity to try out the new homemade table saw fence, which works pretty well. Anyway, while he wraps up the window moldings, I'm heading over to the other workshop. Here we've got reclaimed cedar siding on the walls. This is a 120-year-old siding that came off the house. And I've had it up on the walls for quite a while now, but we exposed some bare spots when we changed the lofts around. All of those years have produced this beautiful rainbow effect on the back side of the siding. It looks great. And there's a lot of history behind it too. I saved it when we remodeled this house. I pulled it all off one piece at a time, and I started seeing these M's marked on the back. Then later, when we pulled up the stair treads, one of them had Mahoney, St. Charles written on the back. Mystery solved. The mill in Vancouver was marking the M for Mahoney. It turns out John Mahoney built the house in the 1890s. He had a pretty good family, which is good because it was a pretty big house. But he didn't stay long. Shortly after the turn of the century, they moved away. The workshop was added on later, and that mystery is found in the cement floor. Inside, near the back door, 3 names and a date are embedded in the cement. Philip Dwayne Simpson lived here in 1941. His father-in-law was Fred and his son was Bob, and the 3 of them evidently got together on some August day and poured the floor that became my workshop. I like to imagine that was a happy summer, but it didn't last long. 4 months later, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, and young Bob went off to war, where he died over France a couple years later. So even though this cement floor isn't particularly level in places, I don't want to tear it up or put something over it. It's got a lot of history. So our floor coverings in this shop are anti-fatigue foam mats. I got these at Harbor Freight. You can get them on sale for like $8 for a 4-pack, and I just cut and piece them together around my machinery. In fact, I pretty much cover the whole floor with them so that as I walk around the shop through the course of the day, my legs don't get tired. This really makes a difference, and it wasn't that expensive. The workbench has to be rolled around sometimes, so I have these other mats that it can roll up on top of. And then on the other side I go back to the foam. The other shop is going to have the same mats in it. History is really important to me, so whether it's the floor or the cedar on the walls, I'm trying to preserve and remember as much as I can. I don't know, it makes the shop more interesting. Doesn't mean I can't have all the amenities of a modern shop though.